Hello, nature friends. Here we are on the trail again. It's getting on in September now. We're starting to lose a lot of our wildflowers. So I'm not sure how much we're gonna see along here. But it's a lovely day. Also, I forgot my binoculars. So hopefully we don't see any birds that I really need to take a close look at. I can hear a lot of what I run into. But at this time of year, a lot of what I'm hearing are just the call notes and harder to identify stuff just by the call notes. But I can tell a few things. I can hear some sparrows or some such out in the wetlands here, as an example. But they're not close enough for me to be able to see very well. Also chickadees, black-capped chickadees. Oh, I just heard a swamp sparrow sing, although I bet you didn't hear that. It was a bit distant. Anyway, there's a few birds around, but it's going to be hard to see much, I think. Outside of birds, we got our plants to look at. Here is virgin's bower. I mentioned this in an earlier video. They're still not quite fluffy yet, but they're really cool. Those are going to turn into fluffy seeds like dandelion puffs or milkweed puffs that will take off in the wind and go find a new place to grow. We got all our cattails here. Whew. Just starting to lose their seeds a little bit. These fluffy little, speaking of fluffy seeds, all these seeds like that are wind-borne. I mean, that probably seems obvious, but different types of seeds have different methods of dispersal, getting to new places. And a lot of seeds will rely on the wind to carry them places, and they're pretty obvious which ones they are. And a lot of seeds will rely on animals to carry them places, and they've got different tactics for doing that. They may be sticky, like burr seeds, or those little sticky things that get coated on your legs when you're walking through low brush, or they're berries that animals will eat and they carry them away. There's one of the fall frogs. That one's the spring peeper. I have corrected myself from last time. In the last video I was calling them tree frogs. Tree frogs sound very distinctively tree froggy. They've got a sort of trill sound, and this is obviously peeping, which makes it the spring peeper, except it's fall peeper today. Yeah, they sound a little bit different in the fall from what you're used to in the spring, when you have those really loud, almost ear-splitting choruses in the spring that can be almost hard to talk over. I look forward to sharing some of those with you down the road. Just a little bit of red here caught my eye. Right here. Pricked myself. These are wild rose hips. I wonder if you'd be able to make tea with those. How would it taste? I've never had rose hip tea. I'm not sure if those are edible. How would they be dispersed by animals? They must be eaten. How else would they get around? Rose hips. Yeah, we're past the season of, oh, here is the virgin's bower that's gone all fluffy. This is the first ones I've seen. Look at that. And you can see just on the ends there, the seeds. And so all these little tufts will be carried off by the wind, off to new places. Are they cool though? Like the way they glow in the, with the sun coming in behind. Just, oh, I just like them. I need to get some for my garden. I should collect some seeds on my way back. I think I have a little baggie. This is the time of year where I do start collecting seeds. Oh, I was starting to say that a lot of the flowers are starting to go. Here we have our New England aster, but even then, the New England aster is starting to be past its peak. There's not a lot of flowers along the trails anymore. The odd one here or there. But we're starting to get into seed season. And a lot of what you're going to be seeing along the trails is the remains of the flowers or the seed heads, depending on how far along they are. So I got the fluffy virgin's bower that I showed you. This is goldenrod, of course. Goldenrod has fluffy little seeds too. I don't know if you can see those. Probably not. It's probably out of focus. But fluffy little seeds as well. And I have to imagine they're carried by the wind. Although they're so tiny, you don't really see them floating. But lots of them around. Of course, the milkweed is quite abundant. Along this area of trail, there's more virgin power in the tree here. Along this section of trail, oh, I hear a snake. Sometimes the snakes are coming out at this time of year to bask along the sides of the road or the sides of the trail to get as much sun as they can because the nights are cool. I can hear a little bird doing something weird. That's Chip. Chip, what are you doing? Come here, please. Shh. You sit. You hear how warbly that is? Oh, I see him. And I don't have my binoculars. He's perched up at the top of a tree over here in these dead trees up here. I just flew off. The young birds, young of the year, will often practice their songs in the fall, and they're not very good at them yet, so they sound very odd. You can often sort of get an idea of what they might be just based on the tone of the song or some of the notes. Sometimes it kind of resembles the song a little bit. If I were to guess, it was obviously Finch, based on its habit of perching at the top of the tree there. The shape of it, the size of it was very Finch size and shape. And also the noise that it was making had a very Finchy tone to it. So all those features combined to suggest to me that it was a finch of some sort. Probably a goldfinch. Might be a purple finch. They both do kind of warbly things. But hard to say. I couldn't tell more without being able to see with my binoculars. I'm seeing a number of bugs around, including dragonflies, which I'd mentioned in a previous video that at this time of year they're pretty much all... Oh, that was a Downy woodpecker that just called back there. All the dragonflies at this time of year are meadowhawks. specific like autumn meadowhawks. There are multiple species of meadowhawks around here. These ones are all autumn meadowhawks. I can see a few of them. They look really beautiful with the sun backlit on their wings, but I don't think I'll be able to get close enough. Maybe I'll try. Oh, he just took off. Of course he did. I don't know. Maybe you can see them in here. Flying around a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if you could see anything there. Anyway, if not, I'll put a photo on the screen of one up close. But they're kind of cool because the sun catches their wings when the sun is getting low like this in the afternoon in the fall. And they look all glittery. All the leaves are starting to turn, although we're having a very brown fall this year. And I know that the color of the leaf change has something to do with the difference between daytime highs and nighttime lows. And you need to start getting the really cool night times in order to trigger the leaf change. But there's something about them that oh, here comes an ATV. Chip, come. Something about them that specifically triggers leaf color too. I'll have to look that up. I will put it here when I figure it out. I'm gonna turn this off while the ATV comes by. Okay, they've gone by. It was actually 2 dirt bikes. I don't know that I've seen that on this trail before. One towing the other. So I hope that they don't get in any trouble doing that. I just noticed here, as I was standing here waiting for them to pass, I can hear black-capped chickadees in this woods. There's these interesting pines here behind me. We don't have this species very many places around here. Or at least I don't see it very often on the trails. I believe they're jack pines. And there's some chickadees in there, and also I can hear a myrtle warbler. Yellow-rumped warbler is their actual name. Myrtle warbler is the eastern subspecies. And I've picked up that name as the result of my time with banding, bird banding at the migration monitoring stations, where they use the subspecies names for recording what you've put the band on. So we would be banding myrtle warblers as opposed to Aufubon warblers, which are the subspecies in the west. Or as another example, we'd be banding yellow-shafted flickers, which is the eastern population of northern flickers. And they have red-shafted flickers out in the west. So I've gotten in the habit of calling them that. Here he is again. I can't hear him now. I can hear a red-shouldered hawk off in the distance. Probably you wouldn't be able to hear him. He's quite distant, but they're migrating too at this time. He's a red-shouldered hawk. And you'll see them circling high in the sky as they're traveling, finding the air thermals, and they're usually calling. They make a gear, 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 gear call, which is fairly distinctive. Our blue jays often mimic the red-shouldered hawks around here, but they don't do a great job of it. They're not as convincing as blue jays sometimes are with other species. I can hear some more. Oh, there goes a myrtle. He was calling as he flew, so I could tell. Myrtle warbler, yellow-rumped warbler, however you want to call them. Oh, here comes another dog. Give me a sec. That's funny. I've never seen this trail so busy. I mean, not that 2 encounters is busy, but 2 encounters in how many minutes has it been? 12? 15? Something like that? I'm sorry, Chip. He wants to go chase after the other dog. I do have a leash, but it's in my pocket. I'd rather not dig it out. He's small enough to pick up, though. I can just do that till they're far enough away. Anyway, just about time for me to turn around anyway. I come as far as this little pond here. Can you even call it a pond? It's so tiny. It's been made by beavers. They've built this really cool, like U-shaped dam around the perimeter here in order to trap this little bit of water here. I've never actually seen a beaver in here, but it's clearly beaver handiwork, and I have occasionally seen evidence that they've been moving back and forth. Chip, you're heavier than you look. Whew. Anyways, I should be turning around to go back and get the kids, so thought I'd do a short chat today. Not a great deal to stop and look at, but it's always nice to be out, isn't it? Anyway, I hope you guys get out, see some cool stuff. Tell me about it down in the comments here if you see anything really exciting, and we will see you in the next video. Have fun!